The following program is rated TV MA LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
They gave me my theme music!
Soundstripe.
This is a Planet Fanatics production.
My fault, yeah, it's definitely my fault. This one.
Yeah, that looks like that's what it is.
Two. It should be good now.
They should be able to hear us. They should be able to hear us.
My fault.
Alright,
I
okay.
didn't see those names first time.
They can. Anyway, sorry. We had to, when we record the reactions, we have to set up the sound a different way. And when it's this late, Henry is not reachable because he is asleep. Henry puts his phone on Do Not Disturb at 9 p.m. and he means that shit. So, he be out.
Lovely cue on that computer timing. A little bit. Sometimes.
How is everybody? Did everybody enjoy that episode of Loki? What did you guys think of that episode, episode 5? If you do pay attention to the stuff on Twitter, My Time to Shine Hello did say that this was going to be a filler episode. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that episode? Corey, let's start with what you thought. You said, driving on the way over here, that you thought this episode was going to be a...
Yeah, I did, because I was so shocked about how the last one ended. Like, I literally, those last 5 minutes, my jaw was to the fucking ground. I was just...
Right.
So I thought it was going to be a lot more action-packed. I thought there was going to be a lot more going on. But it was very informational and sentimental, which, I'm not going to lie, I'm still trying to figure out if I like this side of Loki. Like, don't get me wrong, I think his story is coming to a full circle. But it's still very, very intriguing to see this side of Loki. He got soft on me on this last one. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah. Yeah. Q, your thoughts on this episode?
I don't know. There's like two sides of it, because one, there's the side of me that stays up to date with what the director's saying. He said 5 and 6 are better than 4. I personally don't think this episode is better than 4, if I'm being honest.
I don't believe it.
But I mean, just in terms of plot and storytelling, I mean, it wasn't a bad episode. It was just that it wasn't an action-packed episode or anything like that. It was meant to progress story, and it was meant to connect a couple dots. It didn't connect too much, if I'm being honest. I just think it gave us a little bit of backstory on why these characters specifically act the way they do and stuff like that. And then the big thing at the end, I mean, Loki can fucking rewrite shit, change narratives and shit, and so we obviously know where they're going with that. But I think if I had to complain about one thing, it's that I don't think I necessarily like the way that Marvel might handle, we can just go and rewrite this, we can just go do this, it can go time travel here, time travel there. And it feels like they're about to be doing a lot of that. And so I just hope it doesn't get repetitive in the sense of something happens and it's just, let's go right back to right before it happened. And like, I just hope they let some things stay prominent and some things stay like actually to the plot, and bad things can actually happen.
Yeah, like, we're not always going to get...
I mean, I get the incursion's about to happen, but, to them, that's not a bad thing. They're using that as a good fucking thing. So, it's like, I just hope they leave... I don't want them just going back and fixing it. I don't want a fucking Infinity War Endgame situation with everything, If I watched Creed 3 for the first time last night, which is crazy, and so... I'm sitting there like, no way this nigga Michael B. Jordan is a heavyweight beating this nigga. And so I'm like... This just needs to be a story where the villain wins. And so I just hope we get some stories in Marvel in the sense where the villain does win, because shit ain't always sweet.
Yeah, exactly. There's not always a happy ending.
No, I thought this episode, I thought it was an interesting episode. It was definitely, like I said, at the end of it, it was one of the slower episodes, but slower in, like you said too, the storytelling, the plot points of it, the plot of it all, where they're going with this, the wider scope, I guess, of what this episode is doing. Definitely moments at the very beginning, still for me was like the two Lokis, and how he's seeing himself the time loop deal
Yeah.
there.
Mm-hmm.
And then also, My Time did put out that Loki at the end of the show, spoiler warning,
Spoiler warning.
would become the one in control of time, the one he who remains, basically.
Making that nigga God of Stories Loki.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
but that's what I was saying. I feel like
Loki Prime.
his story is coming to a full circle, because when we first met Loki, that was his main goal. He wanted to be a god. He wanted to be a ruler. He wanted to be in control. And of course, when we met him, it was on a smaller scale. And then a decade later, he's doing just that. So I'm not mad about the story.
No, the story's great.
Yeah, the story's
story was
great, and I
fine.
think it's definitely coming into full circle. I didn't know that was what My Time to Shine Hello said, but I kind of figured that's what we were getting to when he was the only character that was not turning into spaghetti.
Yeah. So I'm assuming when he said he has to be the one to do it, is he saying that he has to be the one? He's the one that has to go out to the loom. I'm assuming that's what he's saying when he said I have to be the one to. I have to do it.
Mm-hmm. That's
So
what
he's saying that I have to be the one to go out to the loom, and so bringing back. So he's going to take it back to the moment. So when we saw him there at the end, there was that moments before Timely went out, or after
Yes.
the being spaghetti.
I think that was before, like right when Timely went down, because I rewatched last week's episode last night, and that scene.
We just watched that episode. I'm trying to think of how that shit ended.
With Timely
With-
turning spaghetti, going as soon as he walked out
No,
there.
this one we watched today.
Oh, the one we watched today.
Yeah,
So what was the very last thing to happen in that shit?
he
Loki
went back.
time time jumping, skipping back to I'm assuming the moment right before Timely walks out.
Yeah, like Timely just went down the stairs.
Yeah. So I'm
'Cause
assuming
right
he's going
before-
to stop him.
Right after that, that's when Loki walks to the window, and then Timely turns like he's down there and he's telling himself to be brave, and then he walks out and turns into spaghetti.
Right. So I'm assuming he's going to stop Timely there, and then
Mm-hmm.
he's going to be the one that goes out there to do what needs to be done with the time loom.
Yes.
But where does the episode? They said next week's episode is going to be crazy. Is what they've said. So how does that episode end? Does it end with? Timely being more like the other Kangs? Does it end with maybe what's her name, Miss Minutes and Ravonna, something with them? I honestly have no idea how next week ends. I have no idea.
My personal opinion is, I think next week they're gonna let Timely spaghetti, because we already know that they said that they're already trying to veer us kind of off Kang.
Maybe.
That's
Because
what's been talked about.
Well, My Time tweeted today, after she now, again, take anything with a grain of salt, but she's really wrong. That after further looking into it, Kang's not going anywhere, regardless of the outcome of what is said.
That's just what I figured. Just simply because you already have the nigga's name in a movie that you've probably already started working on,
Right.
that you've already started stepping stones into and everything. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know how next week ends in the sense of, I know we're gonna. That's the thing. You think Loki, or you think we're gonna get a Kang variant who runs the TVA? It's gonna be
No,
Loki.
I think
right?
it's going to be Loki.
I think it's gonna be Loki.
So we're gonna obviously get the normal TVA, everything.
Because you think about it. You think about the scenes. If you go back to those Loki season 1 trailers, there are scenes where Loki was at the end of time.
Yeah.
Where he was the one. Where he was, he who remains. So I don't know if they just revamped that, reshot that, or using that
Right.
footage. But that is Loki is going to be the one at the end of time, at the end of it all, for sure.
Right. But I don't think Victor Timely's coming back. I think Victor Timely had his time. I think they're going to let him spaghetti out.
I don't think Victor Timely's gone. Because
really?
because
when we just say the nigga time skips right before even going out.
Right.
True.
So I think, and like I said, Loki saying in the episode he has to be the one. I think that's him saying he has to be the one.
Well, that and there's just I think there's too much with Miss Minutes, him and Ravonna and everything going. There's a plan set in stone from a previous TVA that is no longer, but not everyone from that TVA is gone. You know, like Ravonna, Miss Minutes, they're still there. Right. She's still shit. There's potentially chances for her to go other timelines and get other Mobiuses, other Caseys. I don't know what the fuck they could do with all that. So there's just
true.
That's the good thing about where we're going whenever we have fucking entertaining content and good shit from Marvel. It's just you really don't know what they're gonna do unless you get the leaks and everything like that. But I mean, it still doesn't really give you a sign of what direction they want to go. Like, that's the good thing about it, because I couldn't sit here and tell you I know what the fuck is going to happen at the end of the next episode. I genuinely couldn't. Like, we're going to get the TVA because we know we have to get him in Deadpool. But other than that, Miss Ravonna got pruned. Miss Mintz offline last time we seen her. I don't know why I just said that. Saw her. And then that's the thing. You think Miss Minutes tries to do anything with them going back and her getting back online or anything like that? We didn't get any of that this episode. We didn't get any of Ravonna.
I don't think
but
they're
we know
going
it's
that
coming.
far back, because that scene, like, they got pruned and then she got offline before they got back to the room and Victor Timely went down the stairs. So I don't think he's going to go that far back. I think
he's not going to go that far back, but Miss Minutes is going to play a major part in this coming episode. Just because Marvel's been teasing the hell out of Miss Minutes all week. All week it's been, I'm offline, be back soon, I'm working on myself, and it's all been Miss Minutes. So Miss Minutes is, I'm sure, going to play a integral role in episode 6.
probably.
Test some of those comments there. See what some people are saying.
Cornelius said, it was not filler. They're telling a story. It's actually great. It was mind-blowing for starters. No,
tell my time that.
And then he said, Loki will run time and it'll be a rush through time to stop all the Kangs. So essentially this multiversal war isn't Kang versus Kang. It'll be Kang versus Loki and his multiverse teams.
Wait, say that one more time.
He said, Loki will run time and it'll be a rush through time to stop all the Kangs. So essentially this multiversal war isn't Kang versus Kang. It'll be Kang versus Loki and his multiverse teams.
And has that not been what we've been saying from day one, talking about Secret Wars? Before Quantumania showed Scarlet Centurion and Ramatut and Immortus, we were one of the channels that were saying, you know, hey, there's going to be a multiversal group of teams, or there's going to be a multiversal team, but there's going to be several Avengers teams that are taking on Kangs.
Right.
Now, this is something that's been known. And we've always known since the beginning that Loki was going to be, and I still believe Ant-Man is also, but Loki is going to be one of those integral pieces in telling that story, and not just in telling that story, but in warning all of these teams and Avengers and everybody else, like how crazy and this person's coming and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. And that was always mine. Not kind of question, but it was honestly like a wonder of mine how he explained the multiversal war in season 1 as him versus himself, but it never seemed like the route that Marvel wanted to go.
Right.
Because, like, he's only, like, I don't see that, or them giving us content of, like, him versus himself, unless it was the previous or the first multiversal war. Because the one that we're getting, like you said, I feel like we're going to get, if not Loki, the variant, because I feel like we're still getting into where we're going to get multiple Lokis. We're going to have variants. We still might, the Kid Loki, we're still supposed to get Kid Loki and everything, so we could even have something where it's like a different Loki leading a couple groups of Avengers and stuff, but they definitely want to have, like, that's the thing how I wanted to backtrack and said they can't get rid of Jonathan Majors, really, because the set stone was always to have 4, 5, 6 Avengers teams going against 4, 5, or 6 main Kangs. You know, they were always going to stop at these little timelines and universes and deal with the little whatever Kang, who this Kang, or bring in like the other cameos and everything like that. But for the like Scarlet, Roma, and everything, like, they're always gonna have them with like 3-4 main teams with like a Loki, a Wolverine, Doctor Strange, an Iron Man, fucking Iron Bots, whatever the fuck they want to do, just because they don't have anything. Like, they have to start bringing these cameos in because we don't have enough characters that can, like, it's not even saying they can't fuck with Kang. Like, it's generally being honest. Like, we're not running up with America Chavez and Miss Marvel and Moon Knight to go fuck with, like, Kangs. It's just not happening.
Yeah, no, they'll have they'll have their multiversal teams, their teams and things like that. And we're gonna start seeing that in Deadpool, I believe. I believe it's the first time that we're gonna start seeing the assembling of the teams.
We saw it in Doctor Strange. We got a multiversal team.
Oh well, there's that. Yeah, 838's team. Or I guess you could even say somewhat. We'll not see a team being assembled, but we'll start seeing stuff even in the Marvels with the post credits and things like that. So, one of the post credit scenes in the Marvels is them saying Kate Bishop talking with Ms. Marvel, and them saying how they should form a team and things like that. And at the end of it, Kamala Khan tells Kate Bishop, Ant-Man does have a daughter, and then it ends. So when we know from prior leaks before Quantumania is that the Avengers, the Young Avengers, are going to be one of the teams that are taking on one of the Kangs, or one of the groups taking on one of the mini Kangs in Kang Dynasty. So, yeah, all of this is leading to all of that, but it's just like, with how it's just like with episode 6. How do they wrap that up? Where is it? But they said it's not ending on a cliffhanger. It doesn't end on a cliffhanger. They said it does end in a way where they could do a season 3, but it does not ending on a cliffhanger. So, it's pretty good.
Do we know if we'll get like a post credit for this last episode?
No idea.
Okay.
I was honestly expecting one for this, but I have no idea.
Yeah, honestly don't know shit about the last episode other than where we're going in the future. Like, the direction that they're going with Loki.
Yeah.
And that was essentially confirmed this episode, if we're being honest. Like, I mean, that nigga is top 3 in MCU now. This nigga has a time stone as part of his feats.
Definitely household name. Definitely a household name.
It's honestly fitting though. This nigga been there 10 years and they ain't really gave him no godlike powers or anything.
Yeah, that's why I feel like it's coming in full circle. I feel like for him.
Yeah.
Like, he's finally getting what he wanted. I just don't, like, obviously when we met him, it just wasn't to the degree he thought.
Yeah. No, he's but do I want Loki to be like this good guy?
That's what I'm saying. I'm still kind of trying to figure out if I like this version of Loki. It's very,
like, I get him trying to save existence because that's also saving himself and the people he does love. Because it's not as if we've seen Loki be cold throughout the years. We've seen him be cold, but not cold to the people he loves. Even to Thor, we've seen him show affection.
Mobius.
To Mobius and things like that. We've seen him show affection, but do I want Loki to be this good guy that's just like, I want him to be the god of mischief,
Yeah, like they established with all the variants and shit, like they're always backstabbing, they're always
yeah. Because it's like, I feel like if Loki does end up saving realities and everything like that, and just everything, saves everything by becoming the one at the end of time, then it's like,
I feel like that would make that nigga more of a villain.
but then once he gets that power, like,
there's
do you feel like
there's that once you get that power, could he
turn into that mischief guy that we were first introduced to?
Maybe
we don't know.
I mean, in the maybe, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I wish I could. I was trying to find the pictures at least, or the scenes from the trailers from season 1 of him at the end of time, when he's standing at the staircase, top of the staircase with his hands out. And I can't remember if it was his hair was long or if he was wearing the headpiece he was wearing in the first Avengers film. That's why I was trying to find that, because I wanted to pull that up, but
he's gonna get his headpiece, orange thing.
Yeah,
it's on they released the poster with like different hymns walking around the clock, and then he's in like the 4 or 5 o'clock in the right corner. That's the one I think is gonna
be the one at the
because originally, like you said, in season 1 it was supposed to be him going to the end of time and he was gonna find a variant of himself.
Yeah, and
so I don't think it's like, that's my thing. I don't know if you think this Loki is gonna be the one that's running the TVA and everything, or you think that nigga wants to go back to some other shit in a different branch timeline. Because I still don't know what's going on with like the time. Because from last episode,
I don't think that this Loki's gonna. Because
last episode he pruned himself, but then this episode he's right back to time skipping, and there's 2 of them again. Like, so, am I tripping? Is there 2 of him, or is he just in the same? I don't think there's 2 of him. I think he's in the same place, but he's just moving in time the way that it's kind of. I wish I could. Let me pull up what the dude said. Yeah, I don't. That shit's never been fucking easily explained to me or nothing, because I really never understood him pruning himself.
Well, wasn't that...
Was that the direct that said that?
Kind of like how the same scenario with this last episode with him seeing himself picking up the book. Like, he's not necessarily in a time loop.
He's moving forward
and backwards, because he hasn't gained control of moving.
See, but if I go backwards 10, 20 minutes ago when we were just watching that video, right? Or the episode, and I'm physically here, there's 2 of me.
Until time kind of catches up. So when he pruned himself, that was time catching up. He took that place of that Loki. Like, he took that time over.
But now we're right back to that same spot.
Yeah.
That's where I'm... If the nigga's time skipping and always able to do that shit, are we not eventually going to run into the issue of, maybe not. Maybe I'm just yapping.
I don't know. A fan... Loki Season 2 video reveals Episode 5 and 6 scenes with Mobius, Renslayer, and more. Let me see. This is it here. Hold on. I'll play it.
Switch the screen.
What I'm about to tell you is going to be hard to believe again. All right.
Round we go.
Everything's falling apart.
What is it that you really want?
I want to save my friends. It's up to us to save this place. How do you choose who lives and who dies?
Make the hard choice.
What could we have done differently?
feel like not too much of that was episode 6.
Yeah, not too much.
Like maybe the little Ravonna piece.
The Ravonna piece, the very first scene
Very
when he
first,
said,
yeah, with him and...
Yeah.
let me explain this again, or this might be hard to believe again. That's him, I'm assuming, explaining to that room, okay, listen, you're not going to believe this, but we just lived this. I just explained this to you all, and I'm explaining it to you again. That Ravonna scene, where the fuck was she at? Oh, she got pruned.
Yeah,
That's
she
what
got
the fuck
pruned.
she's at. She's at the void. Okay. Yeah, so, I mean, we still got...
I wonder what do you think they do with her to come back, though?
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how she gets back, but there's purple.
Yeah, no, it's Elias.
But Elias purple?
Yeah.
I thought he was black.
And purple.
Oh.
Wait, who?
With
Sorry.
red eyes, I thought.
I don't know then. How
Black and purple smoke.
How she gets back.
Well, I mean, the only way to... You have to... They enchanted that nigga, but Kang said he tamed him.
Yeah.
So, I mean... But she has the TVA guidebook, too, and shit like that, so... I would
Didn't
assume
she get pruned?
Yeah, she's in the void right now. That's where, you know, all things go.
Right.
So she's in the void now.
Why did she get... She wasn't wearing that shit when she got pruned, was she?
I don't remember what
Why
she
she
was
get
wearing.
switched to this fucking Ben Franklin ass fit?
Yeah, I don't remember what she was wearing. I was trying to find the direct, what the direct said about the time stuff. You guys could read some of those comments and answer them if they're talking.
W Fresh said, I'm interested to see how this all ends and what it leads to. No, definitely interested to see what's the next step with Loki after this. Tim's talk said, I wonder how long the last episode will be. Do you know?
Wait, say it again.
How long the last episode is?
I don't know, but we can definitely try to find out.
Yeah. Probably 50 minutes. I wouldn't expect anything different. Maybe shorter. Oh, yeah. SP said, Loki should still be the god of mischief, and you can't fundamentally change a pre-established character. Otherwise, it isn't the same character.
What the fuck?
He's not wrong.
No, I agree, and that's why I'm saying I don't think it'll be the same. At least, and that was the better part. If they were going to go this route, they should have showed a preview in season 1, honestly, because I was showing him as a different variant at the end of the timeline, and not 616 is the one who's at the end of time and shit like that. So definitely agree, but I don't know. It seems like they are going to go that route. Raptors Cloak said, Pity Mr. Fantastic isn't established yet, since all this temporal science seems something he'd be interested with T'Challa.
Yeah.
Cornelius said, all the reason to bring back T'Challa. Let's get wild and bring in Thanos as a hero and a Thor Corps. The Thor Corps were like the police in Hickman's Secret Wars, and I want to see Secret Wars as a part 2 story. Nope, literally what I talked about yesterday. Bring Doom in, fine. Give Kang his whole little villain story with Kang's dynasty. Push Secret Wars back. Make it 2 parts.
Not seeing a runtime.
I'm not either for the last episode.
Wait a minute, this might be it. Oh, no. No runtime for it. Right now. Yeah.
Cornelius said he's going to be God of Stories Loki, which is comics, lol. There's various versions of Loki in comics. That whole house of ideas art explains it.
Yeah, no, I've got, if you, Corey, reach above you really quick.
Oh, shit.
I've got Loki's. I'll put that on you there. The camera on you there. 1 second.
Oh, my Vanna White. It's not even on.
I've got Loki's complete collection. There are many versions of Loki in the comics. Let me see. Actually, one more thing. Something else I was trying to see. Loki Prime.
It's Avenger Prime.
It's Avenger Prime. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I think they're giving him the God of Stories title, I feel like, but they're gonna give him Avenger Prime storyline in the sense of going and recruiting the Avengers and shit. They're gonna combine them, that's. Hey, that's what you're talking about. That nigga's tough, though.
Yeah.
I mean, they're both tough. This nigga God of Stories is just Doctor Strange with fucking Time Stone, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, and this has been a speculation since season 1. This people were talking about this way back when season 1 first came, because that's before we even knew that they were even going to do a season 2. We thought season 1 was going to end here.
Yeah, because we got the leak the little trailers of him being at the end of time.
Right. Yeah. There's that article, though.
But the interesting thing is why I brought it up is Kevin Feige he's controlling everything over Marvel and planning stuff in the comics. This is recent. Like Avenger Prime is like a recent story.
Yeah.
So that was definitely a Feige move.
Yeah. That this is where they were talking about. I'm trying to see exactly what he said though about defending it. If there's more that people were saying, you can read those too.
Sir Yuri said, my thoughts after that episode, Loki is legit carrying the multiverse saga on his back.
For real. I do have to say that these last 2 episodes, I felt like should have been what Multiverse of Madness should have looked like.
Hey. Say it all the time. Raymond said, I hope they nail the landing next week.
You and me both, bud.
Dougie Fresh said, I'm interested to see how this all ends and what it leads to. Since the season finale, it feels like we've made little to no progress with Kang. That's wild. I agree. Also another thing, but I don't know. I feel like the thing of, and that honestly, I don't know how to honestly respond to that because we haven't. Now that I sit here and think about it, like in episode 1, we still get we get Loki running around seeing all the statues and shit and saying like he's coming. This is like we can keep getting Loki having the fear of like he's on the way, but that's like really it.
Right. Yeah. No, they haven't really done anything else with him. I'm assuming something really big with him is happening in this next one. I'm assuming.
On Reddit, they're saying that episode 6 is only going to be about 40 minutes long.
Okay.
But that's on Reddit, so
Ballpark.
I would take that.
Reddit though, who's posting it on Reddit?
Yeah, I don't know, and maybe I don't know, cause shit, we should have got some progression with Kang after Quantumania, so hopefully that is what we get next week. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, like I said, they said it's not ending on it doesn't end on a cliffhanger or anything. It's to the point.
I mean, they've been really good with pacing though, and starting the
Yeah.
One thing I've liked about this season and even the show is they start the episodes like right as the last one ended and shit. Like they're picking up with like there's no little gap to where we have to be like, well, what happened here?
Right.
Like how they're starting them right where they ended. And I feel like even if we do get cliffhangers, they've been good endings and shit so far. Like they haven't really been bad.
Yeah, no, it's been good. Any predictions on Kang for next week? Anybody? Anybody in the chat, anybody in the room, predictions on if Kang is going to have a heavy presence in next week's episode? Is it going to be a heavier presence in the post-credit scenes? What are we seeing from Kang moving forward? Is there something that, indicates things getting so much worse at the end of this episode?
Cornelius said, I'm thinking the definitive Kang shows up based on what the director said in that Variety article saying that they're screwed.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
The definitive Kang shows up?
Mm-hmm.
The Kang from Quantumania? That'd be dope. And this came from what article? The Variety article?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Or he's saying, and he said, I'm thinking the definitive Kang shows up based on what the director said and that Variety article saying that they're screwed.
Raymond said...
I would hope a...
Oh, no,
sorry.
my fault.
I would hope a Kang shows up. I hope we at least get introduced to somebody outside of Victor Timely that's a threat to kind of get the ball going for Kang and the excitement of like, oh shit.
Right.
He's fucking here.
No, we will. I don't think they're going to end the...
Here it is here. Episode 6 is going to be 56 minutes and 5 seconds, 51 minutes and 10 seconds.
51 minutes of screen time.
Yeah, 51 minutes of screen time. So, damn near an hour.
That's not bad. I'll take it.
Raymond said, what comic did you say had Loki or someone recruiting people from around the multiverse, or is that just... It's Avengers Forever.
Yeah.
I think the issue is like 12 or 13.
And see, that is so funny with talking about that, because it's just like a lot of the stuff that gets brought up, like
I'm not trying to toot horns.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
I'm not even that
live
nigga.
It was.
I'm not that nigga when it come to this shit. Darius me mainly on the top, but
right.
I didn't call it some of this shit. Like, this shit is like, not to even say it's like super predictable, but if you stay around the loop and everything, and you stay with, you can tell what's coming.
Oh yeah, you can definitely tell what's coming up.
Raptor said, if the Kang from Quantumania shows up and kills everyone but Loki, I'll be speechless in a good way for the MCU in years. You know?
Yeah, I know. Yesterday we kind of I think so. I don't know which one of us said it, but I feel like one of us said that the Kang in Quantumania quote unquote died, like he's not coming back. But I don't think that's true.
No, that's the Kang.
Yeah,
right. Like that's like I don't think he just like decimated himself like that.
No,
that would be a crazy ass thought, or like something to happen or some shit.
Yeah, no, that's the one that is the one that all the other Kangs hate.
Yeah, that's the Conqueror. That is him.
Siri G said, it may be a reach, but I thought when Victor Timely got erased last week, I thought that made the King variants.
That is...
Or Kang variant, sorry.
That is a theory. It's like... Because... I don't know, there's a whole bunch because...
I mean, that would make sense. His aura
Obi essentially created himself, like all the
mean?
Ouroboros shit, and then him... Essentially what they're trying to, like, how that would happen is a piece of him got put into every timeline or branch or whatever.
Exactly.
And then it's grown from, like a Venom concept or some shit. Like, he grows from that. So, I mean, I could definitely see that being a little theory they go with, but...
For sure.
I don't know, because... When does Quantumania take place? I guess we don't really know.
It's on the timeline.
It is?
Pull it up.
Because I just don't... We already have established that all these Kangs are a thing, right? So is Loki Season 2 before Quantumania? In the sense of maybe this is how they came to be?
Timeline order here. Quantumania takes place. Gotta keep going down. Quantumania is here. Loki Season 2 is not currently on the timeline.
Interesting. I mean, it would kind of be everywhere. Because like you said, we were in the blip. We were in fucking the 1970s. fucking future.
I would assume Loki season 2 is happening here.
Right here.
Because it picks up right where it ended.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I'd assume it's here.
Raymond said, remember after Infinity War, everybody thought Avengers Forever was going to be the title and storyline of Avengers 4 before we found out it was Endgame. I keep forgetting this happens like with season 1 and probably before phase 4 even started.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's definitely interesting to sit here and think about this shit because I have no idea what they want to do with Kang, especially with only one episode being left, and I feel like you kind of have to do something prominent to establish something, just because why the fuck would you do, because we don't know when we're going to get majors again.
Right.
I mean, it may be a end credit scene in some movie we get next year of Captain America. I would assume that would be my guess, but that's still how long away? Next fall, winter area. So I just don't see why they would go give us something of even just Victor Timely. I'd like to see more than just Timely in this because we know we're going to get him, but I think we need to get something that just gives us that Thanos-like feeling of this, like Loki's been telling everyone there. Like, he feels like he's not lying. He's coming. He's on the way. And so I feel like it's time we finally see that shit. Like, he's been saying that shit all season. We saw it at the... Maybe that's what they saved it for the finale. Because it was the finale for last season.
Right. This came... Well, let me make sure. This came...
Oh, interesting.
Let's put this on here so we can see. I wanted a more... Hold on. I would like to find a more reliable source there. That's from February. It's from September. Okay. So Screen Rant. 8 Marvel movies and shows that have directly set up Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. So it's not really telling me what I wanted to know. I was wanting to know more so
afterwards.
Okay, so this is from Reddit, and this is from the Marvel Studios subreddit. So, and they said, besides Ant-Man and Quantumania, or Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, Loki, Avengers, Kang Dynasty, and Secret Wars, what projects could Kang show up in? I know there might be a third Doctor Strange movie he could show up in alongside Deadpool 3, which I'm hoping he would be, since each variant is from different universes and there could be one in the Fox universe. I honestly hope he appears in surprise moments, especially smaller heroes who are meant to be bigger. This is just a bunch of fans speculating, but I guess I could go back up to that one. Okay, now this is the direct. Alright. This is the direct. They said Loki Season 2, obviously. Victor Timely confirmed. What If Season 2. Moon Knight Season 2. We've already kind of talked about that with Rama-Tut stuff.
Yeah.
Deadpool 3. Fantastic Four, we know that. What were they saying there about Moon Knight? It says at the moment there are no signs pointing to when Moon Knight will return for its second season, although rumors have indicated that it's in the works behind the scenes at Marvel Studios. Mark Spector even has some ties to the master of the multiverse, Kang, thanks to one particular variant that has been teased. Episode 3 of Moon Knight included an Easter egg, if we remember that, teasing the Egyptian pharaoh Rama-Tut, who was actually a Kang variant that went back in time to rule over Egypt. Then, in Ant-Man 3 mid-credit scene, Rama-Tut made his live-action debut as part of the Council of Kang, serving as one of the 3 leading variations of Kang alongside Immortus and Scarlet Centurion. Most recently, rumors pointed to Rama-Tut actually being a part of Moon Knight Season 2 in some capacity, which would almost certainly bring back Majors to reprise the role after Ant-Man 3 mid-credit scene. This would give Oscar Isaac his first chance to interact with the MCU's next big bad, while also potentially setting him up for the role in one or both of the next 2 Avenger movies. Deadpool 3, now what capacity he's in Deadpool 3, or where he shows up or how he shows up, I don't know if that's like a post-credit thing. They said Deadpool 3 is rumored to be the first MCU movie that will fully tackle the multiverse in all of its glory, largely thanks to Hugh Jackman's Wolverine taking on a semi-lead role alongside Ryan Reynolds' Mark with a Mouth. That alone sets up Kang for a possible small role in the threequel, although the film will also include something with which Kang is already awfully familiar. It says rumors have resurfaced that tease the Time Variance Authority playing a major role in Deadpool 3, with Owen Wilson's Mobius and Tara Strong's Miss Minutes specifically being teased for appearances in the movie, and he who remains being the one who created and ran the TVA. It will only make sense to have some kind of nod to the Kang variant at some point during Deadpool's journey through the multiverse, with Deadpool 3 also releasing only 6 months before Kang's leading appearance in Avengers 5. That would be the perfect time to remind fans that Kang is out there after 3 Earth-based movies in Captain America: New World Order, Thunderbolts, and Blade. And considering the jokes that Ryan Reynolds could pull with such a big threat in the picture, it's almost a no-brainer to include Kang in the story at some point. And then we know, of course, Fantastic Four. What's the 8th one? And then Doctor Strange 3 is 6, and it says, although there are no signs pointing to when Doctor Strange 3 will join the MCU timeline, the ending of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness all but confirms that the multiverse will play a role in its story. And with the multiverse comes the chance for yet another Kang variant to come into play, especially with the incursions that are forming thanks to Doctor Strange's antics. The end of the last solo movie included Charlize Theron, Clea, Strange's best-known love interest from the comics, who slashed a portal to the dark dimension as Strange showed off his new third eye, and on top of a potential return for Dormammu, it wouldn't be shocking whatsoever to see Kang the Conqueror looking to make his presence felt in a place as dangerous as the dark dimension. Rumors have also hinted that Doctor Strange 3 release window could place it ahead of Avengers 5, making it even more likely that Kang shows up in some form, even if it's not a role as its movie's main villain. So I think the most interesting ones out of those are honestly just Doctor Strange, Fantastic Four, and however they're doing that, because that whole film right now is a mystery of what is that exactly is going on. Yeah. Deadpool 3 and Moon Knight. I don't give a shit about What If. I don't give a shit about him showing up in What If. But the rest of that seems very interesting. And obviously, Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, that's a no-brainer. You know those two. So, yeah. I think that's next time that I think those projects make the most sense. I don't see him showing up in a Spider-Man 4 or anything like that, especially with it being more grounded. I don't see it being in a...
I could see it in, like, Shang-Chi's next movie.
Yeah, I can see it in Shang-Chi's next movie for sure, because that's what Daniel Cretton, as far as we know right now, is still going to be directing Shang-Chi 2 and Kang Dynasty. So we know that Shang-Chi, the implications of whatever that film is, with it coming out right before Kang Dynasty, it's going to play a huge role in the stuff. I could even
see something with Miss Marvel and her having the bangles and everything.
Yeah, the Eternals. If Eternals 2 is for sure coming out before Kang Dynasty or Secret Wars, that one. But I think that would be it. I don't think he shows up in that.
Where he would show up.
No.
I mean, like, maybe
mention in Armor Wars, if Armor Wars is playing more of a... I don't know.
I don't know. That nigga could still... I don't know. He could do something with the Thunderbolts if they wanted to, in the sense of him making a deal with them to go do some shit.
Yeah, they mentioned Thunderbolts. They mentioned Blade too. And I was like, hey, Blade.
It's just I don't know what the fuck they're doing with the Thunderbolts, and the team is Duke.
I was about to say the team's not looking good on that end.
Yeah. So that's what they've got there. That's the next time we could possibly see King. Definitely interested in it. I do want to see it all. I'm just ready to see, like I said, the definitive King again. Despite him getting beat by ants, up until that point, the definitive King was cool.
Yeah.
The scene with what he did with what's her name, Cassie.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like the conversation between him and Janet when he was in there saying he was going to burn them from time, and things like that. All that, like I said, up until the bubble being made and him getting beat by ants.
Pretty good.
So I'm ready to see the definitive King come back. Other than that, there's nothing else. Is there anything else from anyone else?
Mm-hmm.
Cornelius said, MCU and Mortis may look crazy, but I want them in a 1/6 scale from Hot Toys. He said, regardless of Kang if Kang is recast or not, Kang Dynasty is going to be crazy with an OP Kang.
Yeah, and I think honestly, once we see Immortus, we see Rama Tut, we see Scarlet Centurion again, he being Jonathan Majors would have had more time to actually come up with different, and them not just him come up with them, but them also telling him, here's how this character needs to be, or maybe he's even read comics with those characters and seeing how they act different from each other in the comics and things like that. Because I really hated that scene. I really did. Like, I want them to fix all that. So, I do want to see Immortus again. I just want them to fix it.
Raymond said these films are not coming out before Kang Dynasty unless they push it back to 2039.
Which films are that?
He said 2030. Raymond.
I know, but I'm saying which films are that?
The Doctor Strange 3 and the Fantastic Four one, basically. Moon Knight Season 2, Shang-Chi 2. No, that's what... They need to get on them, though. They need to get on Shang-Chi 2 and Eternals 2 and all these stories that they want to tell and shit, because the fuck else are they doing? Wasting time with fucking What If. As much as I want to see Echo, not even as much as I want to see, as much as I'm going to watch it.
I forget.
Echo, Agatha. As much as I want to see like these smaller characters get some shine, not the time right now. Let's go ahead and build some universe and then throw the smaller characters in.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. I as much as I love Agatha and I love WandaVision and all that, and I really was excited for Agatha until these most recent plot leaks and things like that. Like Vision Quest, the self-discovery Vision story, cancel that shit. Because it's like, what purpose is that serving to what's going on in the multiverse right now? It's us watching 6 episodes of him trying to figure out who he was as the Vision. That serves no purpose to what the fuck we're doing. Wonder Man, that's why that was canceled, because it served no fucking purpose to what the fuck is going on right now.
Right.
Like, so we're wasting time with some of these shows and things like that. So yes, I would say what you need to do is booster up the shit that makes sense to telling the story that you're trying to tell, that's integral to the story you're trying to tell. Because like that Ironheart shit, who the fuck is complaining about Ironheart getting pushed back to 2020, whatever the fuck it got pushed back to?
Nobody.
No one, because no one was ever checking for Ironheart to begin with. Now, the fact that I think one of the most interesting things about Ironheart was the Mephisto shit, Sacha Baron Cohen. But if it's just Sacha Baron Cohen as Mephisto the entire time, like Luther,
they're gonna fuck that
then
up
I don't
too.
care. I want to see Mephisto. I don't want to see Sacha Baron Cohen in a suit. Echo, again, until you just said it, I forgot about it. So it's like, if it's integral to the stories that are being told, and the only thing I will say, I'll give a Spider-Man and a Daredevil that pass. because that's some street level shit, and we've not gotten that really in the MCU. We've not seen Spider-Man street level. We've not seen how they're going to handle a Daredevil exactly. They're calling it a soft reboot. Characters are still going to be living some of the same storylines from the Netflix story. This is the new report, and some of the others are going to be different stories or something like that. So it's a soft reboot is what they're calling it. So that stuff I do care about. If it's not like, if that stuff right there, like Spider-Man 4, you don't show Kang, you don't talk about, that's fine with me. I understand. I think there's going to be something in a post-credit scene, because if Tom Holland's Spider-Man is a integral character to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, I'm assuming something has to be said in Spider-Man 4 moving, because that's coming out before Kang Dynasty, moving into that, because we're not seeing him again until Kang Dynasty. Outside of that, the ones that were just named there where Kang is showing up, that's the shit you need to focus on.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the shit you need to focus on. Throw the Eternals in there. Take What If the fuck out. Again, I'm saying it again. What if you saved your money and you need it? Because that right there, what if is not needed, bro. And I say that, and I, for those of you for people that loved What If, sorry, I know some of you really loved What If, but I say that in saying because, like, what payoffs did we get from What If season 1, from going into phases 4 or 5? Like, what from season 1 What If correlated to phases 4 or current phase 5?
Captain Carter.
But from what they said, that's not the same. They ain't even the same Captain Carter. Different Captain Carter.
They're just throwing stuff out there just to throw stuff out there.
So I'm just like, again, what if we didn't do that shit? Because we all thought that the Doctor Strange episode, that's why I watched that shit. Because I thought that was going to play a part in Multiverse of Madness. Didn't. So again, if it's not integral to the stories being told right now, to Kang, the multiverse, any of that, like at the retreat, toss it. Toss it. It's not important. It's not important. But we can, if no one else has said it, then we can go on and get ready to see you guys on Wednesday. I see Jules PDX said the strikes are going to really start coming into play soon, in my opinion. SP Flash said it probably was canceled. Maybe. Are we talking about Vision Quest? No, Vision Quest was canceled. If that's what we're talking about. Vision Quest was canceled. Brian Fisher said recast T'Challa. Raymond said, I wish they had Kang variants be villains in some of these shows and projects. Loki would have got it, but Ant-Man, Fantastic Four, Doctor Strange with Nightmare, Captain Marvel, since Carol and Centurion had a thing. Then we've got Raptor Cloak that said, that reminds me, the new showrunner for Daredevil are the ones from the Punisher and Loki shows. Let's see. Cornelius said, I'm not talking, I was talking to Raymond. Raptor Cloak also said, I just want Blade done right, and I say leave Wakanda underwater until they come back with sense in their heads. Yep, I agree with that too. And Dougie first, I rewatched Quantumania post-credit scenes, and it was not any better. They need to fix Scarlet Centurion and the Council of Kangs for sure. It was not good. Naughty 90 said no type of payoff at all whatsoever, and that's what I'm saying, and that's just the point I was getting at with it. I mean, it's the point. If the stories being told right now are not pushing us towards Secret Wars,
leave it alone.
Yeah.
Like, no one gives a fuck. Yeah. Like, I'm telling you, I'm not.
Cornelius said, "What if it's
watching
for
Echo?
Kids?"
What does he watch? Spinner. What does KJ watch? Spins.
Spidey and the Amazing Friends.
There you go.
God,
kitty it up with them. Kitty it up with them. But a lot of us adults have invested.
That show so much. It's for 3-year-olds. Like, get over it. It's
No,
a multiverse.
They can have. That's what he said. He said, "What about the kids?" That's what
I'm saying.
I'm pointing them in that direction.
It's a part of the multiverse. Shit, they might show up in the next Spider-Man.
They better
movie
not
with Miles.
go there with Spins and the rest of them. If you want you want kid shit, go with Spins.
Damn.
We've been here investing and crying
Don't play your nephew like that.
when Iron Man snapped and Black Widow died and all, you know, the tears, laughs, joys, all that. Too long, too much invested for some bullshit. Nah. So in the words of who said fuck them kids?
That nigga grandpa.
Fuck them kids.
Granddad.
Fuck them kids.
Granddad said that, and that nigga Lil Yachty said that shit. Nigga Lil Yachty said, man, fuck them kids, bro.
Like, we not in a multiverse.
Said, look around, look at life.
No. But so anyway, we'll be back with you guys on Wednesday for a regular stream, and then Thursday is the Marvels. So we will be viewing the Marvels that evening, and then we'll be back after the Marvels. I believe we said to watch Loki and discuss the final episode with you guys. So we'll see the Marvels pretty early, and then be back here to. I want to say we should be back as soon as that episode drops. So it should be a regular old Thursday stream for us. So we'll be back here with you guys on Wednesday. Thank you guys for hanging out and discussing with us. And we'll talk everything you guys love next week. So
as always,
like, subscribe, share with your friends, and we'll see all of you guys in the next video. Peace out.
Peace.